What's up, everybody? It's Thursday night and we're in the spot. You don't have to believe me. You could just watch. It's another episode of A Worthy Addiction. I am Unworthy Collector, and Danny couldn't be with us tonight, so we've got our Rowdy Boy brother in arms, aka Clintastic the Great and Powerful, or as I like to call him, the reason all of my exes live in Texas, Mr. Clintastic 4. Clint, how are you doing tonight?
I'm doing fantastic. How are you doing tonight?
You know, I couldn't complain. I could complain, but a lot of people don't like to hear complaints, so I just keep them
That's never
bottled down.
stopped. That's never stopped you before.
Well, you know, it's a little different in private chats versus the YouTube, platform. So,
Yeah,
I'm just gonna do like my grandfather told me: just bottle it up. Don't express your emotions.
conceal, don't feel.
That's right. Oh man, I'm gonna have to write that one down. Let me find my notepad. So, what has been going on in the world of Clintastic 4?
Not a damn thing. Overworked and
Nothing at all.
underpaid.
Yeah,
hmm
yeah. You got a pretty big, busy schedule for the work week, don't you?
Oh,
Staying busy 9 to 5.
I wish it was 9 to 5. It's more like 7 to 7.
It's a little tough when you're the man in charge.
Yeah, that was a terrible decision on their part.
to to put you in charge.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, they probably could judge on character, and they thought this guy is going to be fantastic. I mean, it's right in your name almost.
I know. Who'd have thunk? But yeah, same old shit.
We got some people in the chat already. Red Leaf says he's going to put his pants on because Danny's not here. Keep them off. Get comfortable. We got Collector Sector in the
Hey,
house, Miss
hey.
Christy Mama. And we got No Chewing in the house.
Some no chewing.
And Green Geek. Vico Sands in the house.
What's up, Vico?
Yeah, so Danny couldn't be here tonight. He was, I think he's ducking Marjorie, I think is the story behind that. I've heard some stories about, whether or not he's been paying his bingo tab
Oh, I thought
or
it
his
was a.
bingo bets.
Oh, I thought they were having a rumble tonight, West Side Story style.
Well, I mean, when she challenged him, he got all bold and he was like, "Oh, I'll beat you. I will. I'll do it." But then he hit me up on a slide. He was like, "Dude, I'm scared. I don't want to do this. I don't want to follow through."
Well, he better fall through because I have bets on this match.
On Marjorie versus Danny,
Yeah,
what are the odds right now?
20 to 5.
Oof, that doesn't look good for Danny.
Oh no, I totally bet against him.
Yeah, I mean, if it was a straight up bingo match between the two, I would bet for Danny because I hear he's a cheat when it comes to bingo.
Mm-hmm.
But if in a
Well,
straight up fight, I don't know.
I mean, he does fight dirty, so
He really does, But my
Mark.
grandfather, another piece of wisdom my grandfather told me is you don't fight to be fair, you fight to win.
Exactly.
So there's
But
no
Mark,
clean fighting.
but Marjorie fights dirtier, so.
I heard she packs the knuckles in her oven mitts, the
Mm-hmm.
brass knuckles. Pull them right off of the wall and give you a old pop and a what for. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So tonight, Clint, I thought what we could discuss and have fun with, other than talking about Danny's unlikely odds of beating Marjorie in a fist fight, I thought maybe we could talk about some toxic traits in the toy collecting and toy photography community. Have you seen any of this?
Never.
No, they're the most chipper,
I know.
happy-go-lucky, never negative people.
Nobody
And
complains about anything. It's like.
yeah, I mean, and when they do complain, it's all minor, and they definitely never, and I mean never, blow it out of proportion.
Never.
They are very level-headed and very well-articulated people, I suppose.
Very much so.
So, what some of the traits that I'm thinking about that I've noticed in the toy community, other than how smart and articulated these people can be in expressing their feelings, is nobody can seem to make up their mind on whether or not they're getting what they want, they're not getting what they want. They want this thing, they don't want this thing, and then when they get this thing, they're miserable about it. You know what I'm talking about?
Mm-hmm.
Now, as a Marvel Legends collector, I know that you have had some instances where you have been looking for something that you wanted very badly, can't find it, finally find it, have to pay a little bit more, and then what usually happens right after that?
They usually re-release it. I mean, but I mean at the same time, it's like I don't regret getting those figures to begin with. It's just how it goes sometimes.
Your timing seems to be pretty impeccable
Yeah,
as buying these grails and then having them re-released.
yeah. I mean, I think it was three last year. I lost count, but you know, I don't because let's see, with the Beast figure, it came with the Build-A-Figure piece, so I'm not complaining about that. The Dark Phoenix 2-pack came with that Cyclops, hasn't been re-released, so.
Yeah.
And then I didn't like the cell shaded animated series wave, so I'm glad was able to skip those. So it all works out.
Yeah, I'm not a
Uh,
big fan of the cell shading most of the time. The Cyclops figure really turned me around on it just because that figure it's a gorgeous figure, gorgeous buck on him. Love the
yeah,
butterfly shoulders. And I've seen a few videos where people can take the nail polish remover and take off
yeah.
that cell shading. I get a little bit nervous because I got shaky hands and I won't get it off on
Hmm.
time. And then I'll have like a real messed up spot where the cell shading and it'll look worse. So I think I'm
Yeah.
just gonna keep it.
That's on my that's on my bucket list to do sometime. Is to remove some of that because there's that a Deadpool figure that I'm gonna make into a New Mutants custom, but it has
Mhm.
like a X-Men logo on it that I just need to get some of that nail varnish on. Too scared to try it, so I'll just Photoshop it out in the meantime. But
Yeah, I
I'll get.
tried doing a little nail polish trick on. I got an Ultimate Edition Ric Flair a while
Mm,
back, last year, year before, I can't remember. And I noticed that the gold paint had a big old black smudge on the top of it. So I asked around on how I could get rid of that, and I was told to use nail polish remover. And all that it did was took the gold off of the belt. So now I got a big silver belt instead of a gold belt.
oh, because
So
you
I'm a
got
little understandably nervous about that.
because you gotta figure out what's actually the plastic's actual color is.
Hmm.
Because like it might be blue, but the buck is actually uh, red or some other color. So,
I'd be really screwed if it was a green plastic
ooh.
underneath, but a red figure with red cell shading, and I was trying to take off the red cell shading, and I brought it right down to the green. I'd never be able to tell. I'd be taking pictures thinking this is fantastic, and you guys would be like, Why does it look like you have a Christmas version of Cyclops now?"
Well, when you get into those situations, you're usually on the horn with all this
Yeah,
walking you
yeah,
through it, so you'd have
yeah. I
emotional
mean,
support.
I don't do anything by myself usually without consulting Clint, AB, or Danny. I'm unable to make decisions on my own. So I always appreciate having the Rowdy Boys in my corner for that.
Anytime.
Now, there has been, speaking of some re-releases and some uh, toxic traits based on that, one of the things I wanted to bring up is Hasbro recently. They recently did. Oh my goodness, I'm losing it here. They recently announced the cell shaded animated series Mary Jane and Green Goblin.
Right.
And I had been hearing for a very, very long time on how everybody wants a Green Goblin, and myself included. I want a Green Goblin, can't ever find it. And then they re-release it. It's the same Green Goblin, but with cell shading. And now all of these people that are saying how badly they want a Green Goblin, now they are all pissed right off that they're getting this Green Goblin.
I mean, yeah, let's look at it. I mean, it's from the animated series. It's those colors, those
It's
bright colors
comic
from it.
accurate as well as the show accuracy in my eye, at least.
Yeah.
I think the face sculpts look pretty great. And it's not actually cell shaded. Like I don't see any cell shading on him.
I don't think these were. I think they're just animated series. I could be completely wrong, but
Now, as I was saying, I've seen a lot of people saying how badly they wanted a new Green Goblin. And then you start looking through some of these comments on here. And I probably should have figured out a way to blurb out some of the names on these, but we're doing it live. There was some comments on here, and of course, they're not going to all load for me. Of oh, great, we're getting another repaint. Oh, great, we're getting another repaint.
you don't have to get it.
Yeah,
Like, it's great for people who didn't get it the first time around. Like,
and oh, they should have come with a Gwen figure. Is another one I was seeing a lot.
Gwen wasn't even. What? Was Gwen even in that series, though?
She was not in the show series that I can recall, but she
Yeah.
was the one that Green Goblin dropped off of the building, and Spider-Man
Well,
tried
yeah.
to save, but she didn't. He didn't save her. She ended up dead.
Yep. We know the story. But, like, it wouldn't make. It wouldn't make sense for her to be in this pack.
Yeah, no, not when they're going off of the
No.
animated TV series. And I will say the animated TV series Spider-Man that came out, it was like a Walmart exclusive.
Mm-hmm.
That thing was hot garbage looking. I didn't like it at all. I know it was real accurate to the cartoon, but the way that the head sculpt was with the eyes looking sunken
Mm-hmm.
in around, it's almost like they just kind of phoned it in on that mask. I could be wrong, but that's how it looked to me.
I mean, I have nothing to compare it to because I don't go into the Spideyverse, so.
We got Yimbo in the house. How's it going, Yimbo? And we got Chubsy Wubsy in the house as well. We're just talking about some toxic traits from the toy community. There is another one that I wanted to bring up here because it hits pretty close to home to me, and I just recently fell pretty hard into the whole McFarlane universe.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I tried to avoid him for as long as I could, but being as Batman is one of my most favorite characters, uh, and they just put out so many of them, and there's the price point, and I'm not mad at McFarlane like I am Hasbro. Hasbro has really just bothered me to no end lately. Um, Here it is. This is the one I want to bring up. Back up. Is this Target exclusive? Now, there's a few arguments here in these comments about the exclusivity thing, with toys only coming out in certain locations.
Mm-hmm.
I get that complaint. But a lot of people wanted this Flash, a comic accurate Flash, for a very long time because they came out with one and he had kind of a screamy, weird face from the Red Death 2 pack. So they bring this in with the good comic book accuracy, and McFarlane, the crazy bastard, he finally did it. He put in a civilian head sculpt with the hood or the mask to look like it's pulled behind his head. Um, and people were losing their shit in the comments, like, uh, "Why is there a trigger finger?" Um, I should have flagged some of these so I could find them easier. Um, yeah, I gotta pay attention to how I do that next time so I can tag these. Yimbo, you make it look so easy. How about the exclusivity thing though? Like, that's pretty fucking annoying. I understand, but we all understand why companies do that, don't we? I mean,
Yeah,
we're all adults. Don't we understand why they do that?
I'm just gonna say yes, but I really don't.
Well, it's to keep their foot. I would imagine it's to keep their foot in certain markets. Certain stores. I guess you could say. Like
Oh.
with Walmart, the Walmart section at my in my area, they never sell any McFarlanes. Like they're always the same five from the first two waves sitting on the pegs,
Mm-hmm.
and they never carry any of the new ones. But then come the Walmart exclusives, and you see their spots are there for them, and they're there maybe one or two at a time, and they can't keep them on the shelf. I think that has a lot to do with it. Target is another one in my area. Maybe there's just not many McFarlane collectors in my area, but the exclusives they can't keep them. Can't keep them in stock. Hasbro Pulse exclusives, they're bogus. I think they're pretty dumb, but
Yeah.
especially if you live overseas and can't get them.
Exactly. But I see. Here's the thing. I can't really speak on McFarlane's because I just see them when I pass by them in the stores. I'm not actually paying attention to what's on the shelf.
Yeah, yeah, they're not in the X Men though, is what you're saying.
No,
None of those DC characters.
no, unless it has like a throne or something. I don't care.
You probably would have liked the Lex Luthor that came with the Apocalypse throne. I mean, I
I
love a
got
good
it.
chair. Oh, you got
I
that one?
Yeah, $7.
You got them all. Must have got on clearance, huh?
Mm-hmm.
I
But
think a lot of the issues that people have with McFarlane, they're pretty much unfounded. He is, it's only his. He's only 2 years into his contract. I don't even think
mm-hmm.
completely 2 years in with DC, and they just re-upped his contract with him for another, I think, 5 years is what they renewed it for. And some of his first ones, they were pretty terrible. Couldn't stay standing up. The ankle system sucked. Poor articulation. Uh, Big solid clunky capes that you couldn't do shit with. Um, but he's improved on all of that for the most part. Still got
well,
solid capes.
well, it's not like Hasbro knocked it out of the park with their first waves of Marvel Legends.
Yeah,
That
and
Banshee
oh
was
yeah,
atrocious.
yeah. That was a hard one to deal with. Now
Yeah.
Hasbro also, they have not been trying really hard to make any improvements that people are asking for. Yeah, they're giving you a lot more shit. They're giving you a lot new characters, but they're like obscure characters that, like, who the fuck is a Puff Adder? Like, why is that a build a figure? Why not give us another build a figure of like another? Give us a Sentinel build a figure. Why not do that? If you're gonna have 8 figures in a wave and you have to
Mm-hmm.
buy all 8 to build a figure, make it a big damn build a figure.
Well, I have an alternate take on that. I mean, if it wasn't, because there are probably a lot of Marvel Legends fans who want Puff Adder, but I don't see Puff Adder being a high selling deluxe figure on its own. So
Hmm.
here's a way for so here's a
Yeah,
way to justify making the parts for that figure. So I get
yeah.
it.
I mean, I never even heard of a Puff Adder. I'm a Marvel comic guy. I've never even heard of Puff Adder. I knew he was in like the Serpent Society or whatever the hell it's called. With like, they had a Rock Adder or some other fucking snake characters in a couple
Hmm.
waves ago. But um, and I know the new X-Men build a figure wave. You know who that figure is? That
Yeah.
character. I don't even know how to say his name. Chew.
Not Chad.
Chad.
I'm not gonna say the obvious one that comes to our head, but
Yeah, I mean, now is that a figure that if it came out as a mega figure, would you have to have it?
I mean, I'm a biased audience, so of course I would, but
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I I don't think anyone outside of X-Men specific ones would even grab it.
Yeah. I mean, And McFarlane, at least with his Build-A-Figure waves, you only got to
Hmm.
buy 4 figures. And I mean,
Yeah.
they're the same price as Marvel Legends now. They were quite a bit cheaper, and some of them, some of the McFarlanes that come out, they're still like $19, but they're not Build-A-Figure waves. But I mean, I think about there was the Red Lantern Atrocitus Build-A-Figure wave. I didn't
Hmm.
give a shit about half of those characters. Three of the four that came out, I didn't give a shit about. But I wanted Red Lantern. My wallet didn't despise me when I bought that wave.
Right.
Whereas if it was Marvel, you would have had, or Hasbro, you'd have had to buy 8 figures to complete them, and they'd all been nonsense characters that you don't want just to build a figure. So I think
Or
that's where Hasbro messes up. They give you 8 figures that you don't give a shit about just to build a figure that you don't give a shit about either.
well, also with Hasbro, like the popular, like taking some of the previous X-Men waves an example. They're like the blockbuster character usually doesn't have the Build-A-Figure piece. So
Right, right,
like
yeah,
Cyclops doesn't have it, Wolverine
yep,
didn't have it. So if
yeah.
you're just wanting that one, that one's not going to have a Build-A-Figure piece. So.
I think it was Midnight Stars. He was showing off some of the build a figures that he's built,
Hmm.
like kit bashed out of, because he had to have certain characters in the waves, but didn't care about collecting and finishing. And I think I got to take him up on, or take up his advice and try some of that out, because same thing with Marvel Legends. There's certain
Mm.
characters when they come out, I got to have them, or I need to add them to my collection. And when the build a figure piece comes with them, they get thrown in a box.
Well, you don't have to see when it comes to me and buying figures that when it comes to getting Build-A-Figure pieces that come with figures I don't want, I'll just get them in the aftermarket or at some of my local shops. I won't even bother trying to get the fig. So,
For you're saying if it's a build a figure that you do want.
yeah, like I think it was like I think it was the Strong Guy way. Way too many Deadpools. I don't care about
Yeah,
Deadpool at
yeah,
all. So, I pretty much bought three of the Build-A-Figure pieces separately, called it a day.
yeah,
There's ways
yeah.
around it, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, I did that with two of the Thor figures
Hmm.
too, because I got to have all of Thor's, no matter what it costs me. I end up having to have them, and I spent an exorbitant amount, and that means a lot, exorbitant amount of money on the All Father Thor, the original one, for
Mm.
the Marvel Legends wave, just because I got into that game a little bit late, could not find the Thor, period, the regular Thor, and I had Hawkeye already, and then
Hmm.
I could not find the rest of that wave. So I ended up having to buy all the pieces on eBay, a leg here, a leg there,
Hmm.
and yeah, that gets pricey that way, but maybe not so much if you're jumping on early when they're kind of new.
Yeah, because I'm thinking the most expensive Build-A-Figure piece that I bought separately was probably from the Sauron wave, the pterodactyl guy. I
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
think that one cost me about 30,
For
but I also didn't have.
just to complete him.
Yeah.
Like, is
No,
that
well,
all the pieces?
yeah.
$30 per piece, or the whole build a figure?
Oh, I was meaning for an individual piece.
Oh, okay, okay, yeah,
Yeah.
that makes sense. I was gonna say that's pretty lucky. I bought the all or the Fat Thor, the Bro
Hmm.
Thor build a figure. I bought him completed because I didn't want. I had Beta Ray Bill, and I didn't really give a
Hmm.
shit about the rest of them. Or no, Beta Ray Bill came with the Hulk wave. So I don't think I actually bought any of those figures from the All Father or the Fat Thor, Bro Thor, I think they call him.
Hmm.
And I think I spent $125 just for that one figure. If I had bought all the figures from the
Hmm.
waves, it would have been easily double that.
Right. And luckily, like for most, in my case, it's not really an issue to get all the figures in a wave because I won all the X-Men point blank.
Yeah,
So it doesn't hurt me to have to buy all the figures because I would have
yeah,
bought them anyway.
yeah. It's better you're learning from your lessons. You got to buy them now when
Mm.
you see them rather than wait and spend a fortune and then have them re-released right after.
Looking at you, Sentinel. Hmm.
Oh shit! How
That's
about
it.
why do you suppose they haven't done any more HasLabs based on any of the big characters like Galactus and Sentinel? They've all been smaller HasLabs now.
I mean, well, what are the options? I mean, those are the characters known for massive sizes. So,
Well, I was thinking it would have been cool if they had done for the one HasLab, the Ghost Rider that failed miserably. If they had done the Mammoth, I probably would have backed it. I mean,
hmm,
I backed the Engine of Vengeance and then dropped it, and then they announced what's her name there,
yeah, that
and
pissed me off.
I was like, all right, maybe I ought to reback it, and then I'll just
Hmm.
scalp the shit out of Clint for this figure. I'll be like, hey, you want this? If it makes
You would
it
have
and I
got
get this car, I'll be like, hey, this HasLab was $350. How about we say $200 and this girl is yours? I wouldn't have
this
done that
off.
to you for
Yeah, I
real.
was about to say. I mean, I'd probably. I mean,
You'd have been mad,
was
but you'd have done it.
maybe not that much, but I would have been willing to throw some cash at you for it.
I think the next HasLab, there's been a lot of speculation for the Avengers one that they got coming
Hmm.
out. They keep on saying a Quinjet or not a Quinjet. Yeah, no Quinjet. Blackbird's
Yeah,
the X Men one. Quinjet. Then well, it'd have to be massive. Well, I don't know
yeah.
how massive it would have to be.
I mean, I fairly massive because
Well, I don't know. I got that Batwing from Spin Masters, and
yeah, but
it's for the 12-inch figures, and I
hmm,
feel like I could fit 3 McFarlanes easily in that thing if I had done more than just hanging up on my ceiling over here.
right. Well, you'd have to fit way more than three, so there's that size consideration. But
And playability. I mean, not that
hmm,
we really exactly play with our action figures aside from setting them up. I
yeah,
mean, my wife's not listening. Yeah, no, I don't. I don't really play with my figures like she thinks I do. I hope
right.
she is watching out there. Um, I don't know. As far as Avengers HasLab, it's kind of hard to speculate on what it could be because the vehicles failed so miserably. I don't see them doing and trying another vehicle right away.
Possibly not. I think even though I am biased to X-Men, but I mean the Blackbird would probably be one of the more popular ideas for that.
Hmm.
Um, that would get any sort of traction, but I that could get very pricey very quickly for that one. So now I don't
I think
even.
the Engine of Vengeance could have been successful if they didn't
Hmm.
try so underhandedly to sneak things through or push these
Yeah.
things and then turn around and re-release. They said that the what the hell was his name there? Um, the Ghost Rider himself. I can't think of his
Hmm.
name.
Robbie.
Uh, yeah, Robbie Reyes. They say that buck was made exactly only for that character, and then as soon as it failed, you see Longshot coming out with that buck.
Hmm. And then Chamber.
Yeah, is Chamber the same? Yeah, Chamber's got
I
to be
think
pretty
so.
close to the same.
It has pretty much the same uh, jacket and coat, so I wouldn't be surprised.
And yes, Blitz is that's right there. That's what I was saying. The
Yeah.
way they presented the tiers and the unrealistic backing amount in order to get these certain ones, like the Hell's Damian Hellstrom, like that, you had
Hmm.
to have they had to be fully funded before you get him. Like these are characters you're not going to get. Hasbro's not going to be able to put these on the shelf at Walmart. They can't
No.
put these on the shelf at Target. So, there should have been a little more realistic goals, stretch goals, and how many backers they actually needed. You can't tell me that Charger cost as much as it would take to have 5,000 backers or whatever it was.
I I don't know, man. Like, I see the thing is, like, for me with the HasLab, really didn't care that much about it until they put characters that had no business being in the tier system into it. That's the only part of it that irked me.
And which one are you speaking about specifically?
Uh, Madeline Pryor,
Yeah.
like one of the hugest characters from the '80s X-Men, like Cable's mother, for Christ's sake. And
I think that has a lot to do with, like I was saying, these are characters you can't just put on a, I don't see them being able to put Madeline Pryor on the shelf at Walmart because of, A, the sexiness, but B, she's kind of a demonic esque uh
yeah,
Satan-y type character. Walmart's not gonna sell that. Although they
no,
did the whole the what is his name there? The oh, McFarlane put him out from the Black Adam movie. I can't He just looks like a giant devil. I can't think of what his name was. I didn't buy it. It was a mega figure, but I
I
think
fell asleep. I fell asleep during that movie, so I don't remember any characters' names.
I think if Hasbro had been a little bit more forthright on why they were doing these certain things as or not build a figures as
Hmm.
stretch goals for this HasLab, and if they had just been a little bit more realistic on the stretch goals, I think that probably would have backed no problem.
Yeah,
Really, it was the time frame they wanted to have fully funded in order to get certain things, and then they were kind of flip flopping back and forth on how many people they had to have backing it before they would release this one. It's just the HasLabs. I think they're doing something wrong. Transformers HasLabs, they sell out, or they back almost immediately.
hmm,
Not seeing a Transformers one uh, fail, let alone struggle to make it.
right.
I
I just
think they
noticed
should
that,
do some Power Ranger ones nice, like a big Megazord or Dragon Zord.
or just the headquarters. I forget exactly what it's called.
The command center.
Yeah, the command center.
Yeah. Well,
That would be great.
they gave us a Zordon and an Alpha and a two
Hmm.
pack, and they could have done that. They could have put that in the command center in a HasLab because that the Zordon that came in the two pack was pretty
Hmm.
small. So they could have given us a bigger one that actually lit up more than 2 seconds, and then you got to change the battery.
I mean, we
And
got our own lights. It's not a big deal.
yeah, or they have what are those? It's almost like holographic or whatever, where if you look certain ways at it, it looks like it's moving. Like they could have done that with Zordon's head in a command
Hmm.
center too. And I think if they start doing any of the HasLabs for Power Rangers, I think HasLabs would probably start succeeding pretty well as long as they were done right and they were honest about the stretch goals and had some things in there that really piqued everybody's interest. I think if they started doing the Power Ranger HasLabs, it's
Hmm.
probably all Hasbro would be able to do to keep up. They'd probably have to keep on putting out a Zord every month
Yeah,
for a HasLab.
like something like that would make the most sense for them to do.
Yeah, and they kind of are with the Ascension pack.
Right.
I'm not seeing how those things scale, but I guess they're pretty close to the same size as the original Zords, like Megazords. So,
Hmm.
I mean, you're going to have a Zord that's this tall standing next to Rangers that are like this tall. So the Ranger shouldn't be half of the height. But
Right.
I've actually not seen the Ascension Zords in person. I think they're a Hasbro Pulse exclusive.
Gotcha.
Or maybe not, because I think they are on Big Bad as well. I think they're so expensive. They're really expensive though, so I don't think people have been. Not too many people are buying them. If you could see, other than a Blackbird, if you could see a HasLab, a dream HasLab for X Men, what would it be?
I
I think a
mean,
Danger Room would be real simple, just a bunch of white blocks, white Legos. Hell, I could
like
make you one right now with my son's Legos.
I have see it. They need to take a page out of McFarlane's playbook and do those playsets that they did for the 1960s animated series.
Hmm. Yeah, yeah.
those would like that doesn't need to be a HasLab. You could put that out for $40.
Yeah.
Like that would be the best way to have those types of sets, to be honest.
Yeah, I think yeah, because you could build the whole X mansion, several of them, they all clip together, or you can put them
Hmm.
in any order that you wanted to.
Exactly. Well, like we wouldn't really want a full mansion, just pieces that we can move around to photograph with, but not a
Oh,
free
we
full. Oh,
got Toyetic in the house.
what's up, boo?
Don't look, Toyetic. She's still coming for you, Marjorie. She's still coming for you. We're doing our best to keep her off of your scent.
Oh, I totally told her where he was.
Oh, you weren't supposed to do that.
You didn't
Supposed
tell
to make her
me.
work for it.
You gave me money.
She gave you money?
Hmm.
Careful, she's a shark. She'll be coming back for you.
Like she's gonna make it all the way down here.
I don't know. She came all the way from California to where Danny lives. So, I mean, that's a hike. I
Hmm.
almost said it. I almost gave his whole address. Tell you right how to get to his house. I'd have been the one screwing him up.
Oh, I sent her his GPS location, so.
Oh yeah, he's on your life alert or not life alert. Yeah, what's that called? The phone tracker there. Can't think of what it's called. Oh shit. Margie rolls up in a white van, offers you candy.
uh, Werther's original.
I got some suckers in here for you. So I'm not doing. We don't have a giveaway this week. Next week, I am hoping to have the A Worthy Addiction T-shirts up and ready to be rolled out. So next week, we'll probably be giving away a T-shirt. The first person to get one will be a giveaway. Um, yeah, that merch store that I've got, it's pretty handy. I'll admit I have them on there at the lowest price that I could make
Hmm.
them, because it's really more so I can get a T-shirt that I want and not have to go to a store and pay for the 10 shirt minimum of orders. Like there's a couple of custom shirt places around
Hmm.
me and they want you to buy 10 shirts at a time. It's like, but I just want the one. I just want the one that says my logo on it. I don't want to have to buy 10 shirts. What am I going to do with 10 shirts?
One for
Now,
every day.
no chewing shirts. I'd buy 10 no chewing shirts if
Oh
he
yeah.
would put them out. But he just can't get the guy to put his merch out there. I mean, he's like, "What do you not like money? You're leaving money on the table, no chewing." So something else I think that really bothers me is with the toy community as far as their back and forth on what they want, what they don't want, the re-releases. I'm gonna bring up another McFarlane example here. Now, Clint, what can you tell me about this guy? You know a lot about Batman's. Come on, who is this guy?
Is that like a Two-Face? I don't know.
Yes, it is. It's a
Okay.
two-faced Batman. Now, would you look at this and think McFarlane is just making this up, or is this something that is from a comic book?
Um, I mean, probably from the comics. Wouldn't put it past them,
Yes,
but
it is. It's from. Now, I'll admit it is only in the comic book for. It's on the cover of an issue,
hmm.
and it's in maybe 3 panels altogether after that. But it is actually from a comic. But if you look at some of these comics or comments on here, they're all like, why are you doing this? What does Todd just wake up and think of, who can I mix with Batman? Because he does have a tendency to do that with the Jokerized figures. It's just take a Batman that's not selling very well
Hmm.
and make him a Jokerized, and it'll fly off the shelves, and it will. People will buy anything that's Jokerized. they could re-release the Batmobile Beast for $80 again. As long as it's Jokerized, people will be buying 2 or 3 of them. But this is actually from a comic. It was after Danny almost had it here. Battle for the Cowl. Almost. This was after Battle for the Cowl. This was actually after Final Crisis, where uh, supposedly Bruce was dead and everybody was going after each other to figure out who was going to be the next Batman. Ultimately, Dick Grayson is the next Batman, with
Mm-hmm.
Damian Wayne as the new Robin. And Dick Grayson gets shot up with some crazy funkadelic psychedelic drugs, and Two-Face breaks into the Batcave, and he's kind of beating the shit out of Nightwing Batman, and this is what he hallucinates. This is what he sees Two-Face as. So it is only in like 3 panels, but there's a lot of comments in here. Oh, great, another Batman. Oh, great. Well, and the only one I will say that makes a lot of sense is, why haven't we got a comic book version, like an accurate comic book version of Two-Face before we got this? I'll agree, but they just did the same thing with Atrocitus. We got a weird Atrocitus that's in one comic book panel
Mm-hmm.
before we got the Atrocitus figure. So
I mean, it was probably easy for them to make.
I
And
mean, Batman is the biggest seller as far as DC is concerned. Period.
yeah.
Comics, movies, video games. Are they going to put out a Flash video game and have it do well? No. But you put out another Arkham video game, that shit is going to
Mm-hmm.
sell. If they put out 2 more Flash movies, are they going to do as good as any more Batman movies? Depending on who the Batman is, of course. And Superman, they do an open world video game version of Superman. Yeah, what is he going to do? You can't have like Batman Arkham games where Batman's just roaming around beating the shit out of thugs, because Superman could just level the whole city
Mm-hmm.
if he really wanted to. If Metropolis got as well out of hand as Arkham Asylum or Arkham City did in the second Arkham game, he'd have just burned it down, started over.
Yeah.
Kind of like Green Lantern did to in Coast City.
Now, a Green Lantern game would actually be pretty fun.
Yeah, because that could be in space, that could be
Mm-hmm.
on Earth, that could be just about anywhere.
Yeah.
And I would love a Green Lantern game, but I would love a Green Lantern movie. But fucking Ryan Reynolds ruined it.
They got the series coming out soon, dude.
Yeah, it's the Jon Stewart one. That's going to be a good show.
Yeah.
I wish
Well,
it was Kyle
don't
Rayner.
don't jinx it. I think Kyle Rayner's in it. Like it's
It would
not
make
just
sense.
because I think it's about the entire Lantern Corps, not just Jon Stewart. Could be wrong. Lots.
As much as I hate to say it, I think they kind of need to steer away from Hal Jordan for a little bit longer. Because
Yeah.
there's people have been doing nothing but talk shit about Ryan Reynolds as Green Lantern, and I'll agree it's terrible. It's not a very good movie. It's a good movie, but it's not. It's not a Green Lantern. It's not really good for Green Lantern. But as
No.
soon as they put out a new Green Lantern movie with Hal Jordan, no matter who the actor is,
Hmm.
people will be turning their heads and saying Ryan Reynolds did better.
But did he though?
Well, I mean, he was funny, and he is devilishly handsome to look at.
To
I
each
can't
their
wait
own.
for the Blue Beetle movie. That looks
That
freaking
looks really
awesome.
good.
And I didn't really know too much about that Jaime version of the Blue Beetle. I didn't really know too much about him aside from the Injustice game
Yeah.
and sort of a little bit from some of the Titans books and some of like the Dark Knight's metal. He was part of the Secret Six, but this movie looks like it's going to be badass.
It
I
does.
hope they put out some figures from
I mean, I think the odds are in your favor.
it. I think so. They haven't done. They did the Ted Cord version of Blue Beetle,
Hmm.
They haven't done a Blue Beetle figure yet, and I think that Jaime Reyes or Jaime, is it Reyes? I can't remember. Jaime, the new one there.
Yeah,
Um, his look is just so toyetic to begin with the
yeah.
alien, the scarab alien and shit. Man, that would just be an awesome toy.
I mean, come on, they're gonna do because that's up until Aquaman. That's their only big property coming up. So
Well, they did greenlight the new Batman with Pattinson, which
yeah,
that I will say it until the day I die. Robert Pattinson Batman was amazing. I hope they
yeah.
continue to make all the movies. He should have been in the new Flash one instead of uh, Ben Affleck. I don't like Ben Affleck. Uh, and well, they okayed it or it started production, but then now I guess with the writer's strike, I guess it's all hitting a stall again.
Yeah,
But
but
the Wonder Woman movies, I don't think they're going to do anything more with them until James Gunn kind of revamps the whole fucking shebang over there. But the Batman is going to be separate. It's not going to be part of the new like DC EU or whatever the hell they call it.
yeah, we'll see how it goes. Like up until now, it's just speculation. So could
Yeah,
be amazing, could not be. But because I think we still have the last Aquaman movie coming out either this year or next year. I forget.
yeah, and I'm interested to see what they do with that, just because of the whole Mara situation with Amber
Yeah,
Turd.
let's not go into that subject. That can get pretty dicey.
Yeah, I want to see that Aquaman movie end with um, no ties to what's moving forward in the DCEU,
Hmm.
because I think Jason Momoa would be amazing as Lobo, and he's talked about how he wants to play Lobo. So I hope that the
He is
rumor
Lobo.
mill. I wish that would be a true thing, and that Lobo is going to be played by Jason Momoa. And I
I
think
mean,
that they need to keep Robert Pattinson forever. Keep that man happy.
we shall see. Let's see.
And I would love to see Nightwing in the new ones. Nightwing. I'm a big fan of Nightwing, Red Hood. I'm a fan of all the Robins that turn into, you know, big time heroes after their Robins.
Did you watch Titans at all?
I started to watch it. I've got almost the entire first season done.
Hmm.
Problem is my kids don't go to sleep, uh, like period, and it's not really exactly a show that I need them watching.
No.
I started watching the Doom Patrol too, and like the first 3 minutes turns into Brendan Fraser's bare ass going to town on his cleaning lady, and my son is watching it, going like, "What are they doing?" Click, get that back off of there.
Oh, yeah, there's an even worse one down the in a future season. I'm not
Of
even gonna.
Doom Patrol.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm almost done with the first season of that too. I don't get to sit and watch entire episodes of shit. I really need to catch up.
Oh,
But I love the dude there, Alan Tudyk. I think he is hilarious. I love everything he does. So
oh
him
yeah.
as Mr. Nobody was like perfect, brilliant casting. I think he could be a pretty good. If you're familiar with the audio drama of Batman that's on podcasts,
Hmm.
um, Alan Tudyk does the voice of Alfred, and now that is how I prefer to envision my Alfred, as Alan Tudyk.
Well, Alan Tudyk does the voice like and does voices in pretty much all the recent Disney movies. So
Really,
yeah,
the
he
Disney
was
one?
Wreck-It Ralph. He was a bird in Encanto. Like he's pretty good voice actor.
He does. He did a couple voices in. He does the Joker's voice in the Harley Quinn cartoon series.
Yep, there we go.
Yeah, and I can't think of what the hell his name is in the Resident Alien show, but man, he is fucking hilarious. I
Yeah,
like that guy.
he's a good guy.
There's a lot of
Okay.
touchy subjects as far as like casting goes, but I would say I think Alan Tudyk, put him in any role in any of the DC shit moving forward, and it's going to be good.
How about Riddler? There we go.
He would be
Like,
pretty good as the Riddler.
like if we went 60 style Riddler, perfect choice.
Yeah, the only thing I would think with that is Riddler is not a very big time bad guy. He's kind of considered a joke. So I would be worried
Yeah,
that
he'd be.
they wouldn't be able to do a grand enough scale. He'd be perfect for the character, but I wouldn't
Mm,
want him to be like a bit part, only in there for a little bit. I think
I
John
don't.
Leguizamo does the voice for him, and the audio drama does the
Hmm.
voice for the Riddler, and he does pretty good. But I don't think he'd be able. I don't think they'd be able to make him look like the Riddler exactly. He's a little bit on the hefty side these days. But there it is. Toy Addict's calling it. We found our Riddler. Riddle me this, Toy Addict.
Careful. But
I think if they're going to redo any of the DC movies with new characters as well, if they're not going to be able to keep Joaquin Phoenix as the
mhm.
Joker, here's a touchy subject while we're on it. I think they ought to bring Jared Leto back as the Joker. I think he did amazing. You can't prove me wrong. Here you all you could try. I just won't listen.
Just
A lot of people
no.
didn't like him.
Like, even it was the combination of his acting and the bad writing, dude. Sorry to break it to you.
I thought he did amazing. His interpretation of it, I should say.
Choices were made. That's all I'll say. Yeah, no. I can't.
There's
I'll
most of the
support
people.
you through thick or thin, dude, but I'm not going to support you on this nonsense.
Well, here's my argument. Everybody says how Heath Ledger was the best Joker. Really original. Da 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 da. He's so comic book accurate, and it's like, okay, well, go find a comic book right now with the Joker where Heath Ledger's interpretation is accurate. You can't because he's not.
Yeah, I'm not going to disprove that.
So people was complaining about Jared Leto's not being comic book accurate is well, so I think if you look at
It's
Jared
not even
Leto's
about.
portrayal,
It's not
go
even
ahead.
about that. It just wasn't good, dude.
I loved it. I loved it.
I,
Hey, agree to disagree. I loved
we
it.
are, but I'm just gonna say I do not agree with you, but I'm gonna let you keep your opinion.
I think if you look at that version of the Joker more as like Jason Todd rather than actually the Joker, like to see, he's actually the Robin that got beat half to death
Mm,
or to death and resurrected if it's you're going with the comic book version. I think if you look at Jared Leto's Joker as if he was actually the Red Hood, Jason Todd, Robin, that got the shit kicked out of him, beat to death, and mad at Batman. So now he's taking on the persona. I think he did pretty good. I won't be convinced otherwise.
there
But
was like a lot of assumptions you had to make about him to get to that point, though, dude.
well, not really, because if you think of the Robin suit that was in um, Batman versus Superman, so and it's spray painted, ha ha ha. So it's obvious that happened in that DC universe. It's
Yeah,
obvious that Batman lost his Robin.
yeah.
He went bobbing for a new Robin. He couldn't find one. And Jason Todd came back dressed up as the Joker. I think it's
Next
a
subject.
theory. I'm
It
I'm running with it. I'm gonna run with it.
you put words were put together for that statement. Yes. Just
All right. Well, then, who would you like to see as the Joker? Then let's forget Jared Leto. Let's take him off the table.
I would not mind not seeing the Joker for a bit. That's where my stance on the
That's
Joker.
fair. That's fair. I mean, I think the way that they did the Riddler and the Batman, the new Batman with Robert Pattinson, I think the way they did that was a little bit extreme. But I think if they did that with, there's plenty of other Batman characters that could be the bad guy.
Yeah, like we haven't seen Mr. Freeze in 20 years.
So bring
Like you
Arnold
could,
back.
hell yeah, a gruff older Arnold as it? Sure, why not?
I think if being as the Pattinson Batman, it's kind of all based in like sort of reality, like where most Batmans you got to suspend disbelief with like the with the Superman flying around, obviously, but like
Hmm.
also like Killer Croc. I hear Clayface is rumored to be the next bad guy for the movie. I think if they were going to go with something a little bit more reality, gritty, true crime esque, I think Professor Pig would be a pretty good choice.
I would.
Serial cannibalistic whack job, wearing a pig mask. I think he would be a pretty good choice.
Which Arkham game was he in?
Arkham Knight. He
Yeah, that
he was the one that was dicing up people and
yeah,
hanging them.
that
Yeah,
lit yeah, that level was creepy as hell, so
yeah,
that
yeah.
would
See, that's something they would kind of have to try to stay away from. Is like with that game, like he was resurrecting his people. They
hmm
appear dead. If you use the bat vision, they don't have a pulse or anything, but they're still fighting you. So they would
yep.
have to do. They'd have to if they're going to continue to stray more or steer more towards the realistic, grounded in like real life shit.
Well,
I think they would have to steer away from the zombified, unless they're like drugged up or something.
I say they just go for that angle because I'm sorry, there's only so much realism Batman can get because if you keep him in that realm of realism like that, you're only going to be dealing with like a quarter of his rogue gallery, and we're
Yeah,
missing
that's
out on a lot of the some of his best villains aren't in that category. So
yeah. I guess Mister
I,
Freeze technically wouldn't fall in that category either. Like he's
he's
not
like
really grounded.
he's like in the middle. Like you could make that work.
Yeah. Killer Croc would have to be, and Clayface would be pretty tough to pull off. Like if they
Yeah.
unless they did like the animated series there where it was like the actor version of Clayface that was
Hmm.
taking that serum or whatever, and it just kind of molded his skin.
But I
Court of Owls would be pretty good. Talon would be a badass bad guy.
yeah.
Get Daniel Radcliffe to play Talon. That way, it's a revisiting of the old Harry Potter feud. Cameron Moynihan. Yeah, he was kind of a Joker esque. I mean, I think they went above and beyond to avoid calling that guy the
Oh
Joker.
yeah.
I would love to see Pattinson just everywhere. I want him to continue having the Batman movies that he's doing, but I want him to come back in the new Justice League shit. Um, I think they can't go wrong with him. Twilight, yes,
Yes.
yes, glittery Batman,
Hmm. See, that's a figure McFarlane needs to make.
a
Glitter
glittery
Batman.
Batman.
I
Yeah,
would
I'm
buy a
I'm here
glitter
for it.
Batman.
I'm
I
I
would
mean
buy
I'm
it.
already buying all the Batmans. Well, I might as well
Yeah,
have a glittery one. Just get a
exactly.
bedazzled one next. Or maybe they should just do a build a figure of Batman that's bedazzled, and like you actually have to buy 32 figures and get independent jewels to glue on them. I mean, what the hell? Let's go for it.
Let's go nuts with this.
I'm in on it there, Toddy. Make it happen. My freaking computer is glitching out tonight. Who is Batista going to play? Because he will be in it. Man, Batista, he could play just about anybody in the Batman Rogues Gallery. They're all big, beefy
I
boys.
mean, Bane's too obvious,
He wouldn't be
but
bad as Bane, though.
oh, he like yeah.
He
There's
could
I
probably do pretty well as Killer Croc, too. A more humanized version of Killer Croc. Maybe he's not big enough for that.
bringing it back to what we talked about earlier. He could probably make a decent Mr. Freeze.
Yeah, Yeah, and, he does have some acting chops. Like, he plays a real freaking dumbass in the Guardians movies. Oh, there it is. Solomon Grundy. That would be pretty good.
That would.
Yeah, he would be pretty good at that.
Poison Ivy, he could rock that.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Oh, shit. Can you imagine seeing him as Poison Ivy?
I I can Photoshop him as Poison Ivy if you want me to.
Make it happen. Make it happen.
That'll be
Do
my
it.
assignment for this week.
Yes. Speaking of assignments for the week, we did have a question come in, and I'm glad that Danny Toy Addict 17 is in the chat because we're going to bring that up. Sweet Marge, she says, does anyone else around here like to play bingo? My old bingo partner is a cheat. Strong words from a strong lady.
Yep.
You play bingo, Clint?
No.
You don't want to be playing with Marge anyway.
Nah. What about
All
you?
right. Let's get into wrapping this up. We'll bring in up here, if I can get this thing to go back to work. Oh, yeah, there we go. Now you want to work. If you want to send in a roundtable question, it's aworthyaddiction@gmail.com. Send one in to us, and we'll get you in on the next episode. It could be anything you'd like about whether you play bingo, what your entrance music would be, what your favorite sandwich is, anything you can even think of. Feel free to ask us. And go over to Instagram, check out the hashtag TA_Black and Wednesdays. Next Wednesday is the final Wednesday of the month for you to be getting in your black and white with a blast of blue. Been going really good over there on Instagram for Danny. Seeing lots of participation. Hopefully next week you can get on here and we can talk about some of those shots that we've been seeing. And as always, we got Toy Talk every Monday right here underneath Clint's chin. I didn't think about this when I did the overlay. I did it for when we had 3 people on. So there's only 2. Sorry, Clint, your face is going to be covered up for some of these. So Toy Talk every Monday on on YouTube. And did I say Wednesday? I meant Monday. Did I say Monday? I can't think of it. It's every Monday. Every Monday
Yeah.
at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on YouTube. And every Wednesday we got the Pick Bar on YouTube as well at 8:30. Toy Pick Community's Top 10 with the Toy Daddies every Wednesday on YouTube. And Clint, you can take it away with this one.
All right. We also have, I forget which day their show airs, but we have Behind the Plastic with Sequential Plastic, Not a Bird Photography, and TMNT 1987. They have a great interview series going on. They've interviewed the Toy Daddies, No Chewing, Toy Father, and Yimbo. Either have episodes or have episodes already released. Fun show to watch. Go check it out.
Awesome, awesome. And
We and we also have figuratively speaking with the guys from the Toy Pick Community Discord, which is Jaden Ivory, Toy Mirth, and Dr. Spacescape. But another group of cool fellows. I think their show started just before yours, but they usually have a regular show earlier on Thursday nights. So
awesome. We'll be checking all those out. And the last plug I want to do here is Unboxing Art and Cox Create have a show on Wednesdays on YouTube. It is it's not called Unboxing Art. I keep on messing this up every time I plug for these guys. It's not called Unboxing Art. Now I am really blanking because I'm stressed out that I can't remember what it's called. Oh my god. Forgive me, guys. Forgive me. But yeah, Unboxing Art and Cox Create, they have a show on YouTube on Wednesdays I believe it's at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I think it's called not Behind the Art. God damn, these guys are going to be mad at me because I can't remember. I am stuttering on it. Oh my God.
You plug too
Forgive
many
me.
shows, dude.
I forget everything. And also, shout out to the Toy Mercs. Go check out the Mercs Weeklies. And Clint, we like to close this off with a quote or a couple quotes. You got any
Okay.
quotes in mind tonight?
I don't have any quotes. I'm not about the quotes. Not about that life.
Toy Addict says I'm doing great. Thank you, Poppy.
He's
I
doing
don't feel like
okay.
I'm doing great. Well, I have a quote. My quote is, I would rather be feared than loved. Being loved might win you some friends, but being feared, that gets you a statue. And that's from Shredder, from the new Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Ninja Turtles comic book. And if you don't have anything else, Clint, I think we can go ahead and wrap this up.
Let's do it.
All right, everybody. Thank you all for tuning in. This has been another episode of Toy Addict AF. Tune in next week where we will have special guest 88 Figs. And until then, good night, beautiful. And I didn't have this ready to play the outro. Here we go.
Thank you for tuning in.
Be sure to hit that like and subscribe button
Click that notification bell.
for more content.